be diving in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Braindance Podcast, where you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I'm Fresh Lobster, joined here by Joe Curley, the one and only specimen. And Joe, what do we have in store for today's episode?
Well, this is episode 3 of the Braindance Podcast, so make sure you subscribe. In the second episode, we looked at red and we looked at yellow. I think I'm playing a red-yellow deck, personally. But today we're looking at green and blue. So really excited. We're going to look at all the cards revealed so far. There's quite a lot of them. Now, worth noting, we're filming this video sort of in advance as a bulk recording on the 1st of July. So there might be a few more cards that have been revealed since. Don't worry, we'll definitely cover all the other cards in future episodes.
Yeah, and we're going to give all of these cards a rating from 0 to 10, given what we think, how playable they'll be in set 1. And I'd say we just jump straight into it.
Let's do it, as we've got Goro Takemura, who, look at that, is right in front of me here. He is 5 Eddie cost, he is 7 power, he has the Go Solo ability, and honestly, he might be my favorite Go Solo card because he also has Blocker.
I will say in the direct matchup, I liked the Corporate Exile more because she has 1 more power and
That's
she
true.
trades well into Goro. In a wider meta, this is a strong Go Solo legend.
Yeah, it's like really flexible, right? Like the fact that it can enter play, you just leave it ready as a blocker. I won, I think, our last game we played because, yeah, I just wanted a blocker. I just played him down. I played another 2-cost blocker and it was just enough for me to win the game. Very flexible card.
Then again, I will say, I think the blocker keyword on this card doesn't matter as much because it doesn't make a big difference if you do steal a gig or if he
That's
can
true.
threaten to block 1. Then again, if your opponent threatens to swing in for 2 or 3 gigs, then the blocker keyword is insane. Usually it comes down pretty late. It's a bit unfortunate if you flip this legend early on a call and it just sits there and does nothing for a while. That's why I'm not going to give this a cracked rating. I think we saw some legends that are really good with passive effects.
I think like the other thing with the blocker, right? The blocker's best on this card when your opponent's wanting to attack with like a 5 or a 6. Because if you just leave it ready, your opponent probably suddenly can't attack with their 5 or 6s at all. So it might like... Even though you don't even end up blocking that turn, it just prevents so many instances of damage potentially. But yeah, I don't like the Go Solo cards that much in general. I think that they're actually not great. This is possibly my favorite one, although one of the red ones we looked at in the last episode was really good. I think I'm going to give it a 6 because I don't like Go Solo Legends that much.
Yeah. I also think in green, which should be more of a mid-range / tempo-oriented color, this is actually fine. I think, especially the more cards, the more sets come out, other legends are going to be better. I agree with 6 or 7 out of 10. Can see some play. I don't think it's busted or broken by any means.
And speaking of Goro Takemura, how about another one?
The Vengeful Bodyguard this time. 2 green ram. A quick effect for 1 extra Eddy and tap this. So technically it costs 2 Eddies. Give a friendly unit with cost 4 or less blocker this turn. In response to your opponent's attacks. That's possible. If you control a value pair of gigs, also give it +1 power this turn. Potentially beefing up your unit. Can matter.
What's a value pair of gigs? So like both gigs have the same value.
Exactly. So green is about alignment of values. You very often want to have same-sided or same value die. When a friendly unit uses blocker, you may discard 1 if you do draw 1. So no card advantage, but cycle and filtering. What do we think of this, Spessy?
So it's very interesting, right? When you flip it, it doesn't do anything, but then it's got, if you hold 2 eddies open, it's a big threat, but your opponent can see it as well, right? Now, interesting, if you've got 3 open and it's your last legend, you know it's there, or maybe you use like Crochet Optics, you saw it's there, you could pay 1 to call it in and then pay the extra 2 to give something blocker out of nowhere. The fact that your opponent can see it coming and the fact that you've also got to hold up resources for it, I actually don't think this one's very good. Now, interestingly, in Riftbound also has some like leader cards that your opponent can see that can be played defensively, right? And they're still quite good. But this is only doing that. Like in Riftbound, those cards are also just units you can play in your own turn. They're just generally good. This is so niche. It's only doing that. I actually really don't like this one.
Yeah, I agree. At face value, this looks all right. The big downside is you need to have a deck that is very comfortable with keeping a ton of eddies open into your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
And that is fairly often not going to be the case because your opponent often also has the option to just not attack and not give you that react window.
Yeah.
The other thing is opportunity cost of playing a legend is huge. We saw some very good legends so far. I think green has a couple of good ones too. So maybe in set 1, this is going to be playable. But the more green legends we have, the less likely it is that this is going to be great. Needs a deck specifically that's like a react deck to what your opponent does. I don't think these decks are going to be very strong. It's not completely unplayable, but 3 out of 10.
1 out of 10. I really don't like it. I'd rather just have a go solo guy, and I don't really like the go solo guys that much.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Hello.
Fan favorite, Panam Palmer.
My favorite.
The Nomad Cavalry.
I don't know what the card does, just the character.
Was that your favorite romance option?
Yeah. I would say so. I mean, I'm actually haven't quite done all of the romance part yet. I've just finished the main quest. I got to go back and do some of the side bits. But Panam is top of the list.
I gotta admit, I'm Team Judy.
Okay.
But it's close. Panam is very cool character too. Okay, 2 green ram, 2 eddies plus a tap, so 3 eddy costs. Move a gear from this legend to an unequipped friendly unit. If you do, ready that unit. Keep in mind, open turn structure. A unit can attack. This can give a unit a second attack. At the end of your turn, if 5 or more friendly units and or legends are equipped, ready them.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a brain melter. Now, it's important to note you can equip this, right? But it cannot be played as a unit. It doesn't have the go solo ability. Even if it's got stats, doesn't suddenly mean you can play it as a unit. So this is simply in your legend zone permanently. You talk while I read the card again.
Okay, I think this is a very slow card with an enormous potential payoff. The thing is, technically you only need 2 units on the board and 3 legends that are equipped. If you have everything equipped, you can get that payoff. The payoff is huge because you can ready all of your blockers again. You can keep your opponent from value trading your small stuff. If you get there, it's very big. It's just, you often won't get there before turn 5 or 6, like maybe even overtime, towards the end of the game, right? What about the first half of the text? For 3, the most important thing is it can give an extra attack.
Yeah.
The downside is it's so slow. Costs you 3 eddies. You first need to have equipped a gear prior to that. So the cost of the readying is even higher. I still think in the right deck, this card can be good.
The thing is, right, is in Cyberpunk Trading Card Game, when you play a unit, it comes in ready already, but it has summoning sickness. It's not like it comes in tapped, and then if you ready, it can suddenly attack, right? So this can't like give rush. It can't like allow something to attack immediately. The only use case for this first ability really is being able to attack with a unit multiple times. Now there's some units we've seen that have attack triggers, so that's cool. But my God, it's expensive. I don't want to play this in my deck. I don't want to be spending eddies like this. I want to just be spending eddies developing the board.
That's a good point. I think this is good in a slow mid-range deck. Now, assuming our thesis is correct that tempo is king in set 1, this is going to be too slow. And I love the card design. I think a lot of people are just going to look at the potential effect and think like, oh my God, this is huge. But this is only going to be huge if we see a lot of cards with very good attack triggers that have a lot of value where it's worth to invest that much tempo and eddies into. This is a card that I'm open to reassess later. For now, I'm only going to give this an average-ish rating for like 5 or 6 out of 10.
I'm going definitely lower than that, for sure. I think it's unplayable. I think it's a 2.
The tempo guy has spoken.
Yeah.
Let's look at the other green cards and we might go back to this later.
Yeah. Well, we have one more. One that I've got right in front of me. Saburo Arasaka.
The Stubborn Patriarch. Friendly Arasaka units have +1 power while attacking.
Yeah, and the +1 power is significant. It does say it on the card, right? If you have a 9, it goes to a 10. Like the Minotaur we looked at in the last episode. Go check that out after this. That's a big deal. So I do like this one.
The Atom Smasher goes solo. The 9 cost also hits immediately for 2 gigs if paired with Saburo Arasaka. Definitely good in this tribal synergistic type of deck.
Yep.
It's very good in a red-green tempo deck.
It's not like setting the world alight, though, is it? It's just solid.
Yeah, it gives the deck exactly what it needs. You very often you're going to be in situations where you're like, okay, I specifically want Sabura right now.
Yeah.
Can be a bit RNG-esque whether or not you flip him. It's solid. It's like,
I like it.
7 to 8 out of 10.
The thing is like 1 power in this game can be all the difference, right? 1 power, because there's no damage counters, can be the difference between your unit trading and dying and sticking around on the board. 1 power wins you games, right?
Yeah.
So I think the card's very good. I will give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
And honestly, looking at the rest of the green legend so far makes me actually want to increase that rating for set 1, because this is just, you put it in your deck, it's going to be solid. Now, if you build your whole deck around it and your whole deck is Arasaka units, then it's like a real good card.
Yeah.
I think maybe in set 1 you just play it because the green legends so far are quite underwhelming in my mind.
The green ones have not been amazing yet, though, right?
And that's the last legend we've got for now. But I'm sure there's going to be more, I guess.
Just one more thing to note and mention with Panam was triple keyword.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see synergies for those keywords yet, but that might play a huge role later on.
Here we have Corpo Security. This unit can't attack, but it's a blocker. It's a 2/2. This one we've played with.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I love blockers. Would I prefer this or Bombus? Bombus can attack, but it has 0 power, and 0 power units cannot steal gigs. I think that the Corpo Security is better.
I was surprised by how good this is in a tempo deck.
Yeah.
I thought this would be a great card for a defensive-oriented deck. This just stops your opponent's reswings. This stops their big hitters. Like, you take gigs 1 by 1, they threaten to gain back tempo by going for 2.
Yep.
Corpo Security stops that. Face value on its own, it looks very unspectacular. It looks like a 3 or 4 out of 10. Playing this seeing this in effect in a tempo deck, was for sure at least a 7 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I think 2-cost blockers are goated. That's what I want from a blocker. I just want something that just gives me that tempo and as cheaply as possible.
Yeah.
I want to play like a 4-cost unit and then do something else on my turn.
Yeah.
Play a blocker. It's about as good as it gets.
Also, there are a couple cards with 0/1 power that have attack effects like Sketchy Ripper. This shuts it down really nicely.
Now, one of the best cards in the Alpha kits has been reworked. Previously, it was a vanilla card. It's now a 3-cost, 4 power, the Emergency Atlas. It's literally got no ability. It's just a 3/4.
Yeah. State vanilla, just 1 ram. Garbage. Triplet keyword, though, like, we never know what the future holds with these tribal tags, Trauma Team Vehicle, Zeta tag. As of right now,
it's a good base, though. Like, this is actually a really important card to kind of like have in our minds. This is what a vanilla card looks like. Whenever I'm doing card reviews for Disney Arcana, one of the main games I make content for, I'm always comparing a card when I'm evaluating it to something that's vanilla. So now whenever we look at a 3-cost card, you have to say, well, a vanilla card is 4 power. So if this is 3 power, it needs to really be earning it. And if it's 5 power, what's the downside? So definitely agree it's bad, but actually an important card to keep in our minds as we move forward, right?
Yeah, so in early sets, this might still see some play, but the more cards with good effects get printed, the better it gets. For set 1, I'll actually give this a 3 out of 10. It's not completely unplayable. It's not special.
We have the Riding Nomad, which is a 5 power of 5 eddies. I keep doing that. 4 power with adrenaline. This unit can attack the turn it's played. Very powerful keyword, but it is quite understated. But you can attack not only your opponent's units, but also steal a gig. Tempo, tempo, tempo. It is 4 green ram. So you have to play 2 green leaders, 2 green legends to play. That actually, looking at the ones we've seen so far, might be the biggest downside of this card. I think it's good. It's also not Arasaka. So like, what 2 green legends are you really going to want to pair with this? That might be an issue for it.
I mean, thematically, obviously, Panam.
Yep.
But then to get the effect of Panam with this card, you'd need to have like 8 eddies open for a double swing. And then it's probably still not at 10 power. It's slow and clunky.
The card's good. This is the problem.
Yeah, 4 ram.
In this color?
It's understated. Is that keyword good enough?
Like, the keyword's really good in aggro.
It is.
My goodness. Imagine you're at 7 and you play this and a blocker. GG.
The question is more like, can this value trade often, or would you always just steal a gig with it?
Yeah, I like it because you can steal a gig. The fact that this can just enter play and steal a gig and win you a game is why I like it so much. The value trade is not as impressive. Again, Disney Arcana comparison, another card game I play. Indus Arcana, a card with Rush, can attack immediately, but it can't quest. This can sort of do the equivalent of questing, which means in my mind, it's really good. You remember that Dash Par card in Lorcana? Really good card.
You smoked me with that.
Yeah, so I like this one a lot, but I'm not sure it's going to fit into a deck with 2 green leaders at this stage in time, and I'm not sure it's going to be brilliant moving forward. Really good keyword. It is probably too expensive, though. I'm going to give it, considering the RAM, a 4 out of 10.
I was gonna agree. I thought you'd give it a much higher rating. I think it's okay, but too clunky for deck building as well as play.
Very good keyword, though. One to look out for. We have Wraith Marauders. 5 cost, 4 power. When this unit steals a gig, ready another friendly unit with power equal to the gig's value.
So it steals a gig, ready another friendly unit.
It's interesting. It's pretty niche. It's 2 green ram costs, so you can put it into a green deck very easily. It's a Ganger Nomad and a Raffen Shiv. I have to say, the power on this card, again, we look back at that Emergency Atlas. That was a, 3 for 4?
Yeah.
4 for 3, rather. This one is a 4, but it's costing 5. So you really need that ability to be pulling some weight. Does it do enough?
So we have some cantrips that can adjust gig values, I think, in every color.
Sure.
The open turn structure makes this card playable in the first place because you have control and you can see whether or not the attack goes through and blah, blah, blah. It is tricky because you need another gig in the first place and it's still RNG dependent. There's a good chance you cannot get the effect proc.
And another thing that's really important to note is this has to be the unit that steals the gig. So if it's blocked, it has no effect. Moreover, you play it for 5 and it doesn't do anything until the next turn. It's very slow. I don't like the card.
Yeah.
Not enough stats.
One other possible use, though, is how much can you adjust the power on your cards to fit the gigs. It's not necessarily you have to adjust the gigs. You can also adjust the power of your units. Makes it a bit more flexible. Still, I think there are too many situations where this is a brick. It's not sellable. Yeah, too niche. I give this a 2.5 out of 10.
2. Yep. It's not terrible, but too niche.
Yeah.
You kind of want an effect that just would, if something readies immediately, really good.
Yeah. The thing is, this is one of those cards that sometimes is very good, but most of the time is going to be very subpar.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
Slight spoiler for the Cyberpunk game. Not really. A lot of these cards are obviously from Cyberpunk. This guy made me stop playing Cyberpunk for the last 4 months. I had to turn the difficulty down.
Yeah.
And then he glitched into the wall. And that was the only way I could get him. So this card's going to be good, and I don't even know what it does yet.
Yeah, we should rebrand this card. There's going to be a version that says Sandayu Oda, Specky's nemesis.
Yeah.
Specky's nightmare.
Yeah, for real. So I'd imagine it's going to be like some melee themed. That's like what the character was doing. He's like got these red blades. So it's 7 Eddie cost, 8 power, only 2 away from that magical 10 mark. And it isn't Arasaka and Corpo. So Arasaka, very important keyword or classification. When you play it, you spend, which means exert or exhaust or tap, a rival unit for each friendly value pair of gigs. This unit can attack rival units the turn it's played. So it can't attack for gigs immediately, but it can attack. Whoa, this card's crazy good. So when you play it, if you have 2 gigs of the same value, you exert one of your opponent's cards and you can attack it immediately. I had in the last episode a nickname for one of the cards and called it Elsa. This is actually the Elsa. This card is absolutely cracked. It's one of the best cards I've seen. But it is actually kind of difficult to get the play effect.
I was just going to say, Elsa works every time you play her.
Yeah.
How consistently can you get the first half of the play effect?
Probably not that consistently. It's kind of
That is
difficult.
the big question. How much gig adjustment can you do? The other thing is your opponent can manipulate the gigs.
Yep, and disrupt it and play around it.
But you will probably play this in a tempo-oriented deck as the top end, which means you should have at least a reasonable amount of number of gigs. You will be stealing your opponent's gigs prior to that, and that means you can choose which gigs you take. Yeah, big question mark on this. It really depends on what else we have in the set. I would say standalone, without knowing how much gig adjustment there is, too situational. The second half of the text is still fine, but it's expensive. I would just give this slightly above average 6 out of 10. If there is a lot of gig adjustment, easily like 9 out of 10.
The thing is as well, you can attack before you play this, right? So even if I've got a 3 and if I've got a 3, you've got a 3, I could steal your 3 maybe, right, and line it up. I think it's really good. I think also, like we were talking in the previous episode on the yellow cards, there's the 5 cost yellow ramp, and I said what you really want is like a 7 cost, and you could play 4 yellow ram, 2 green ram, go ramp into this the following turn. Maybe you get lucky with your gig dice. Even if you don't get the play effect, the fact that it can just rush in and attack immediately, 7 for 8, I think the card's pretty fine, even if you miss the play effect. And if you hit the play effect, it's busted good. I think the floor is actually pretty high.
Okay.
And the ceiling is extremely high.
Okay.
I like the card a lot. I like it a lot. It might be my favorite card so far. Not because it's like the best, necessarily, but my God, it's powerful.
Cool design too.
Yeah.
Love it.
I give it an 8.5.
Yeah. I could see that in a dedicated deck that does a lot of value pairs of gigs. This is going to be a staple 2 or 3 of top end, and there it's going to be like an 8 or 9 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it could be like an unbelievably good card. Up next, we've got Saul Bright, the Storm Rider. It is 8 Eddie cost. It's 14 power.
14 base, yeah.
And only 2 green ram too.
Splashable, but not many colors will want to splash this, I think. I don't know. It's expensive.
So the ability is other friendly units have +2 power while attacking. At the end of your turn, ready up to 3 friendly units. Wait, this card's crazy. It's really expensive. But like you play it and it has an instant impact, right? Because your other units suddenly get +2. Your 8 power guys go to 10 power. Big deal. Really big deal. I quite like it. It's very expensive though.
This is obviously meant to be a package with Panam. Same kind of keywords and so on. Of course, they're the same family in Cyberpunk. The same nomad tribe. How good is this? And is this too slow? So yeah, even the second half triggers if one Saul gets played. He doesn't need to attack with the rest. At the end of your turn, ready up to 3 friendly units. 8 power, or 8 cost rather. That's going to be what, like turn 5-ish?
Yep.
I think that's significant.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a solid top end for those mid-range green decks.
Yep. And again, you could play it with like 4 yellow, ram 2 green.
Yeah.
As something to ramp into.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, for an aggro deck, it's probably too expensive to slow.
I think so.
But as like a 1, 2, or 3 of anything that's leaning more into mid-range, strong.
Yeah, very strong.
What do we rate this?
7.
Could go even higher. As a 1 or 2 of, I could see this be an 8.
Especially a 1 of, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the price that scares me. It's hard to tell if that's too expensive, you know?
Yeah. And how much good like spot removal is there? But it's so hard to remove a 14 power card.
Yeah.
Smokes.
And this is one of my favorite cards from the Alpha kit. Does it do the same thing? No. Sandevistan, Edge Runners. What a show. It's 3 green rams, so you need 2 green legends to play it. It costs 3 eddies. It gives you +2 power. It is an equipment, and a gear, I should say. At the end of your turn, ready this unit or legend. So you get 2, and then your unit's safe. It's definitely not as good as it was in the Alpha kit.
The effect was cooler in the Alpha kit, that's for sure.
Yeah.
One thing to note, you put this on a legend, you retap, like you open up 1 eddy each turn. So you only pay 2 technically.
So if you can equip this, like maybe you equip this to one of your legends that's go solo, because then you can make use of the 2 power later on.
Maybe you equip this to Panam and shift this gear onto another unit later on that can attack twice in a turn and then still ready up and not be re-attacked.
Interesting.
So there are combos with this.
And obviously with it being a gear, you can sell it.
Yeah.
3 for 2.
3 green ram.
Yep. And you got to look at Mantis Blades, right, which is the vanilla red 1 cost gear, which gives +2. I don't think that this is worth 2 eddies over a Mantis Blades. And also the ram restriction.
Yeah.
It's kind of good though.
For now, I agree.
Maybe it is good. You know what? Maybe it is good. A lot of the time when you like swing in, when we've been playing, I swing in. I'm like, I really want to take this trade, but I really don't like the fact that I'm leaving my card vulnerable. So honestly, the effect is extremely good. The effect's really good. So
It's just a little slow, yeah.
I think maybe it's like a 5.5. Maybe no, I think it's 6.
Yeah.
I think 6.
For now, for what we've seen so far, I will agree. I will also rank this 5 to 6 out of 10. I have the gut feeling that we will see more green equipment synergistic cards. Or cards that will really benefit from the readying at the end of turn effect. And I feel like this is actually going to be very playable, maybe even a staple in this set. But this is just gut feeling with what else is going to come from the reveals.
It's a Sandever stand. It can't be bad, can it? Surely.
Yeah.
We've got Overwatch, Panam's Gift. It is a 4 Eddie cost, 4 power gear. It is a weapon. So you can equip it to a friendly, unit, or face-up legend. It has the quick ability where you can spend 1 Eddie and tap this, I guess like tap what it's equipped to, discard 1. So that is paying 1 Eddie, tapping whatever this is equipped to, and discarding 1 to defeat a spent rival unit with cost equal to or less than the discarded card's cost. So if I discard Adam Smasher, right, hypothetically, which I don't actually think I can do with the deck building restriction, but yeah, let's not talk about that. You know, let's just say I discard like the 8 cost guy we were just looking at previous, right? Discard the 8 cost guy, which actually turns those cards, you know, part of the downside of those big hitters is that they're janky in hand.
True.
Well, suddenly you discard it, you make use of it, and you just get to defeat something.
Yeah, let's say you play a bunch of Odas and a bunch of Sauls.
This card's crazy. And it's just a 4 for 4, which I think is already good. Yeah. And it's quick ability. You can also equip it to a legend, right? And then it's like undisruptible. I think this one's really good, Peter.
Yeah, you can repeat the effect. Quick actually matters a lot here too. You can do that in your opponent's attack window if you're not sure whether or not you want to play the Saul next turn, or whether or not you actually need to discard him because your opponent threatens to swing in for a crucial gig dive.
Yeah.
If they don't swing in, you just keep the Saul.
So there's a lot going on with this card that's like important to evaluate, right? So if it's equipped to a unit, your unit would have to be ready in order to achieve this effect, right? So if it's equipped to a unit, instead of your card attacking, you would use this effect. But then if it's attached to a legend, it's actually costing you 2 eddies and discarding a card. So maybe the best use case probably would be on a Go Solo legend, maybe the Panam, and then you can like use it multiple times, maybe even in a turn, right?
I was just going to say this is like a perfectly themed card for the Panam hero. In the game, in the game, you do get this as a gift from Panam after, spoilers, after completing her quest line, her sniper rifle.
Never would have guessed. Panam's gift.
Wow.
I think that's going to be the quest I do next.
Oh, it's a really good quest line.
Yeah.
It's pretty hype. It's high adrenaline, mate. But the thing is, if you put this on Panam, you actually have the choice of the 2 effects. Whether you want to move this to a unit, ready it up again. +4 is huge then for the second swing. This can easily steal more gigs. This can trade into an opponent's unit. Or you keep this on Panam for a while, let her snipe multiple cards from the backline. The only issue is you need to draw a significant amount for that to be good.
Sure.
Because you're always just going 1 for 1. Then again, it is good tempo because you're only paying 2 to go 1 for 1 in cards, but you can take out a huge unit on your opponent's side that they already spent like 6 eddies on.
Yep.
You are going to have to pay 4 at some point. Yeah, it's not the fastest card, but I think it's going to be really good at regaining tempo.
Mate, it's so flexible as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just can play this just a good and honest 4 for 4.
So what do we rate this?
I think the card's very good. It's very flexible. You can sell it. You can just play it as a good old-fashioned +4, right? You can turn like a 6 power guy into a 10 in a pinch. I think the card's really good. Really, really good. Like it a lot. I like the gear in general. I'm very hype on the gear, as you probably noticed. It is quite expensive. I think it's going to prove to be really good in like one deck. Like really good. Like best card in the deck, good.
I agree.
9.5.
Yeah. I'm somewhere with 8 or 9.
I'm going bold on it. I might be, maybe 9 is fairer. I've just got a really good feeling about this one.
I could see this. Wait a second. Just one quick mention. 4 cost, 4 RAM, 4 power, sniper rifle. Shout out to my boy Jin. What is going on here?
4. Okay. Nice. Up next, we have got Peace Offering. So that's all the units we've got so far in green. Onto the programs. It is a 1 cost. Now, bear in mind, all programs and gears we will look to the gears, of course, are sellable. So this is sellable. You can use it as an eddy. Only one green ram, very easy to fit into any old green deck. Braindance, you may set a gig's value to the value of another gig. Then, if you control a value pair, draw 1. Okay. So if you've got a gig that's 20 and I've got a gig that's 1, can I set my D4 to 20?
No.
Oh.
Actually, no, I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
No.
The thing is, you can set your opponent's D20 in a red deck to 1.
Okay, now we're talking.
No quick though, so you do need to do that on your turn, honestly and humbly. The thing is, if you do that, while you control a value pair, you still draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use this to assimilate your gigs and then guarantee the card draw. Very synergistic with cards like Oda. Probably going to see more like assimilated dice effects from green and payoffs.
Oda's not a
Sellable.
real card.
Hmm?
Oda's not a real card, though. That is a bad card. That was the worst card of the last episode.
Specky's nemesis.
Oh no, Oda, sorry. I was thinking Hanako. Oda's good.
Yeah.
My mistake,
No,
sorry.
yeah.
It's late. We've been recording a lot today.
Yeah.
But yeah, Peace Offering, it's fine.
I will actually say this is, from the cantrips/gig trips we've seen so far, this is probably the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Still a Braindance, still can activate some Braindance effects. I think the decks that play this are usually going to be more like 2 or 3, or rather 2 or 4 green ram, not care that much about Braindance keyword, but a lot about the effect. I think there it's going to be a 2 or 3 of.
It replaces itself, right? And I mean, even just paying like 1 for this, if you're just desperate to find a top deck, right?
Yeah.
You're going to sell it most of the time. Probably you're just fine putting it in your deck. When the card pool is this small.
Yeah, but if you play 2 or 3 Odas anyway, I think this card's great.
Yeah, I think the card's really good too.
7 out of 10?
Yeah, honestly, with the Oda, with how much I like Oda, I might even go 8 out of 10. I quite like it. Corporate Surveillance. This is a 2-cost, spend a rival unit with cost 4 or less. It used to be 3 costs or less, and it was getting sold left, right, and center. 4 cost is pretty significant, though. I actually quite like this card, you know. Even though we played it in the alpha kits and hardly ever used it, it was almost always being sold. I actually think the ability is quite powerful.
Yeah, I agree. The cost 4 or less also makes it a lot more usable and flexible.
Mm-hmm.
In the alpha kit, it has this weird dynamic where very often I do spend your unit and get a value trade, but you will usually get the value trade back.
Sure.
I think the gameplay in set 1 is going to be more dynamic than the alpha kit.
Yeah.
Less vanilla cards, less straight up trading, more quick reactions.
Mm-hmm.
This card's definitely better than in the alpha kit.
Yeah.
How good is it though?
I think it's like a 4. But it could prove me wrong. It could be better. I think it's like a 4.
I feel like green does want to trade a fair bit.
Sure.
Especially if there will be cards that benefit from taking out an opponent's unit.
It's always sellable, right? I think also, though, if this was like a card that had like better keywords and was like providing you some consistency elsewhere, I would be way higher up on it, right? But the fact it feels like just a card that doesn't give you any consistency. It's not giving like improving the numbers on. It's not like you're playing cards that are like searching for corpo cards, right?
True.
So I think for that 4.
Yeah, it's niche. I'm just wondering if it can be very good with a card like Satori, the sword that whenever you take something out on your opponent's side, you remove a unit, you draw a card, bam, card advantage right away. Hard to say.
Maybe even 5. I actually think the card's quite good.
It's average. 5.5.
I think it will see play. I really do.
It's a great tech choice too.
Yep. Up next, we've got Take Control. We need to zoom a little bit because of trains.
True. We got to pick up the tempo a little bit.
So we've got Take Control, which is a 2-cost quick hack, and it has the quick ability. A rival unit steals 1 fewer gig this turn. If that unit is an AI, drone, or vehicle, draw 1.
Any first impressions?
It's kind of good. It's kind of very good. How many drones, vehicles, and AIs are there? Probably a few, but not loads.
I don't think we've seen that many yet.
No, there's like Delamain's Cab. There's probably like the Minotaur.
Riding Nomad.
2 costs is kind of a lot, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It's kind of expensive. If it costs 1, I would like it. I think 2 might be a bit pushing it, though. I just don't want to hold up two eddies for this.
Yeah.
I think it's bad. I wouldn't play it.
I will say I first looked at the card and I thought, holy garbage, unplayable. I watched the Cyberdeck podcast and they did make one very convincing argument, and that is that this card is kind of like a sellable blocker. Blockers most of the time will stop your opponent from stealing 1 gig.
Sure.
This is more flexible for sure, and it has the possibility to draw 1.
Yeah.
So good tech card / sideboard card. Then I think about this a bit longer.
I can see it now.
Blockers have the huge important option to also protect units or protect your gig from a 10 plus power unit. So from stealing multiple dice at once. And therefore, I think if you play a blocker in the first place, just having blockers is going to be better.
Yes.
I think this is going to see some play. Again, deck slots are going to be tight. I don't think this card's quite good enough to see a lot of play.
Maybe in like a hyper aggro build, you might want to include it. I can see
to
it.
make it harder for your opponent to backswing. But even then, wouldn't you rather just play blockers?
Yeah, but like if you're already maxed out on blockers, add these in as well.
Okay, as a sellable potential extra blocker. I can see that.
Yeah. I think like the thing is as well that makes this card difficult to play is it's a quick card that is only used in your opponent's turn. There's no flexibility there, right? If it had some kind of effect that you could use on your own turn, it would be a lot better, right? But it's very like it's only good in the last turn where you just need to get that 1 extra block in to win the game. Yeah. There it can actually win you the game, right? And before that, you can sell it. Yeah. So honestly, the more I look at it, the more it's going up on my estimations.
That's true. That flexibility is key.
I give it a 5. I give it a 4. I give it a 5.
I'm with you. 4 to 5.
5. We're sitting on the fence. Sitting on the fence with that one. Hard to evaluate. All right. Last color is blue. Hello V Corporate Exile. We know this one from the Alpha kits. It's a pretty good Go Solo Legend. It costs 5 and it's got 8 stats. I personally prefer Takamura a little bit with that little bit of blocking action though, but the 1 extra power is certainly nice.
Yeah, in the direct matchup, I prefer V. But in a wide meta, this card's kind of vanilla. Yep. The really cool thing is it's pretty easy to get this to 10 power. Blue is going to play a lot of, especially if you pair it with yellow, some gear cards. Corpo Merc, we didn't see a lot of payoffs there yet. For now, I will also say it's too vanilla, and especially blue and yellow are going to have a lot of synergistic, either Braindance or gear kind of cards. I think this is not going to make the cut very often. Then again, the combo with Zeta Tech Faceplate was so cool. Cracked.
That was cool.
I could still see this be played as like an enabler for those kind of things. That will still not mean V in itself is cracked. I think she's... it's hard to say compared to other legends.
My thought with a lot of these Go Solo legends is the way you play them is if you want to dip into that color, right? Like you got to play 2 blue and you play like 4 of something else. You dip into that color and you also want a Go Solo legend. That's maybe where you play. I don't think you're like desperate to put specifically this card in your deck, but I think there's some merit in having 1 Go Solo card in there for some decks. And that's why you would play this card. Yeah. I think it's below average, 3.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I could see if you want to play Gears, for example, with specifically blue, this is going to be a great enabler. Very niche. I agree. Like in a lot of cases, I'd rate this average. I think it's still a 4 or 5 out of 10 fine. Base case. I could see this in very specific decks be a great enabler and an 8 or 9.
Yep, it's a cool card. I do like the Go Solo cards. They just don't play quite as much, like as well as I thought they might. We've got Alt Cunningham, the Soul Killer Architect, who I encountered just this weekend on my playthrough of Cyberpunk. It is a blue legend, of course. It's a Merc and a Net Runner, and you can spend Alt Cunningham, and your next program this turn plays for 1 eddy less for each friendly minimum gig to a minimum of 1. So what that means, if you have 1 gig that's at minimum, your next program costs 1 less. If you have 2 gigs which are at minimum, then it's going to cost 2 less, but can only cost a minimum of 1. Now, of course, when you tap Alt Cunningham, it's also important to note that you are spending an eddy to do that. So you kind of need to have like 2 min gigs in order for this effect to actually like be a cost reduction. So there's a bad start on this, but the second effect is you can spend 1 eddy and tap it, essentially sending 2 eddies to play a program from your trash, bottom deck it after you play it. I don't think I like it.
Yeah, so I was very hyped about blue as a color, considering its programs and brain dances and so on. I agree, the first half of the effect looks rather whack. I think most of the programs are also just going to cost 1, 2, or 3. The cost reduction is going to be hard to get and not that impactful. The second half of the effect is why I would want to play this. This is for sure going to be an odd value combo control kind of build. And I think there are cards that add program through your trashes, something like that. Just replaying a certain card is pretty good, but it costs 2 plus the original cost.
Yeah, I don't like this one.
It's a pure value card. Again, assuming tempo is king, this is going to be bad.
Yep.
Before, I thought the control combo archetypes are just going to be the best. I thought this card was very good. I would have given it an 8 like a couple weeks ago. Now I think just meta-wise it's too slow. I'll give this a 3.
Yeah, I would rather play a Go Solo card. 2. Maybe 1, honestly. I really don't like a lot of these legends that are just too expensive, not doing much.
Yeah, the question is really how good is the program archetype going to be at controlling the tempo? How much removal is there? How much slowing down your opponent is there?
We've got Evelyn Parker, the beautiful Enigma. She's a doll. And when a friendly Corpo or Ganger unit steals 1 or more gigs, ready 1 Eddie. And she can also be tapped or spent as well as 1 Eddie, essentially 2 Eddies. A rival unit must attack next turn if it can. So 2 effects on this one. When one of your Corpos or Gang units steals a gig, you get an Eddie back, could include herself. And you can spend 2 Eddies to say a rival unit must attack next turn if it can. It's pretty interesting. There's like a few cards in the game that cost like 0 and just want to sit there doing nothing. So the fact that it can ready Eddies, if you're playing a deck with lots of Corpos or Gangers, I actually think this card's really good.
I'm not sure if it can ready itself. I think the wording would then be ready 1 Eddie or legend. I am not sure about this though.
Okay.
I feel like an Eddie would only be
I think it's still an Eddie because it's in your Eddie area. I could be wrong though.
If it can ready
you
itself,
might be
it's
right.
much better because you can trigger that effect like 3 times.
Sure.
And then afterwards wipe your opponent's board with value trades.
Yeah.
The cool thing is we learned that quite a few blockers will also be able to attack. So you can kind of goad or taunt them with this mechanic.
Yeah.
So how good is this though?
It's kind of expensive.
It takes up a legend slot. It's kind of expensive.
You pay 1 to call it, right?
Yeah.
And then you pay another 2 to say a unit must attack. You're paying 3 for the first activation. Also, like how many times are your Corpo and Gang units going to steal gigs? Probably not that often. Maybe kind of often.
The thing is, this is kind of a good tempo aggro kind of card in a color that so far looks rather controlly.
Okay.
In the future, I think if there's more tribals, if there's a lot of Corpos and Gangers, like you'd probably want to pair this with like red at this point. Or like yellow, because we did see a bunch of Maelstrom Gangers there. If that very consistently procs, like whenever you steal a die, you ready 1 Eddie. That's strong.
Sure.
But so far, I think in set 1, nah. I think set 1 2 or 3 out of 10. Future, maybe good. Maybe very good even.
I give it a 3.5. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, the second half of the effect's cool. Yeah. That's for sure.
Jackie Wells, pour one out for me. The first time you play a blue unit or blue gear each turn, you may decrease a friendly gig by up to 2. If it becomes a min gig, draw 1. Now, we've been playing this, and I still don't know if we actually play it correctly. I've always wanted to ask you, do we play this correctly? We've been playing it where, and the text is slightly different in the alpha kit, but we'll just use the text of this to explain the analogy. If we have a min gig and we play a blue unit or blue gear, right? So let's say we've got a 1 die, right? We've got a die at 1, and we play a blue unit or gig. Can you turn the 1 still into a 1, and would you draw for it?
Yeah.
Because we've been saying that it works that way, but does it actually work that way?
Very important point. The Alpha Kit card is worded differently. Okay. We have it right here, and it says, then if it's at max value, draw a card. So 100% we did it correctly before. I think they intentionally worded it here this way, that it's only whenever it turns into a min gig.
So if it's already a min gig. So before it would basically be if you have like 1, this was max.
Yeah.
If you have 1 min gig, you can just use that same min gig as many times as you want to draw. And the card was so good. Like you're flipping over, you want Jackie. Now, Jackie was so good before, but it was max gig. Now it's min gig, it should actually be easier to trigger it still multiple times despite this like change in text. The card was really good before. It's definitely worse than it was in the alpha kit, but it was pretty goated in the alpha kit, wasn't it?
Yeah, for me, that was the best legend in the alpha kit. For me, that was a 10 out of 10.
Yep.
It very often would draw you a card a turn.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing they nerfed this because it was busted.
It was. I really like the card. And I actually like the redesign. It's really flavorful. 9 out of 10. Looking at a lot of these other legends, this draws me cards, mate. I like drawing cards.
I think it's much worse than it was before.
Yeah, it's not a 9 out of 10, is it? It's an 8 out of 10.
I mean, I could see you
for set 1
being correctly at the first place. I think the nerf is very significant. I think blue also does not often want to spend resources to put the value of gigs up again to then put them down again.
Sure.
It's doable. You can then reproc the effect.
Yeah.
But it requires an investment. It's better balanced and designed this way. I just think it goes down to like 6 or 7 out of 10.
I can see it. You know, the other thing with this is it's a blue legend that you're really rewarded for playing heavy, heavy blue. In my head, I'm like, this looks like a great legend I can just add into any old deck, right? Initially, but you have to play lots of blue units and blue gear. It's like a mono blue deck where every card in your deck is blue.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot better than it would otherwise. So, yeah, I think you're right. Maybe like 7, 8.
Tough to evaluate.
Yeah.
But definitely above average.
7, 7.5.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Sounds good to me. All right, up next. Evelyn Parker, the Scheming Siren. She is 2 Eddie cost. She is 0 power. And units with 0 power don't steal gigs, guys. But when you attack with her, she draws 1. Then if you have more street cred than a rival, discard 1. So if you have low street cred, she just draws you a card.
Again, min gig is synergistic card. 3 blue ram.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Double legends. Obviously very synergistic with a card like Jackie. Again, this card is much better if you can pair it with some gear.
Yes,
I could
definitely.
see yellow as the
one
second splash.
1 power is all you need, right? 1 power really elevates this card in a big, big way.
Yeah. But I feel like very often it's not going to get more than 1 attack off.
Yeah. I also don't think you're often going to get 1 stat on it. I think it's like pretty bad, honestly. I don't really like it.
Yeah. The issue is if you play her, equip a gear, steal a gig, then your opponent takes her out, you do lose 2 cards. You only redrew 1.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't technically replace herself. Of course, if you don't steal a gig, then she does replace herself. It's very good if your opponent uses their first turns to like ramp or something like that. Whenever she draws multiple cards, great card.
Yeah.
I think she's too situational. I'm going to give her like an average rating. And that is she's either going to be very good or very bad, which in the end makes her average. 5 out of 10.
4 out of 10. If she had 1 power, she would be a 9 out of 10. That 1 power makes a big old difference.
Yeah, but then she would be way above average.
Okay, Misty we played a lot today. Misty Olzoraski, which I probably butchered. Sorry, my Polish friends. That looks like a Polish name, right?
Yeah.
Mender of Broken Spirits. This unit can't attack. At the end of your turn, choose a card type. Then reveal the top card of your deck. If it's the chosen type, add it to your hand and ready 1 Eddie. Otherwise, trash it. We do have to be quite quick because of your train. But we played with this one a lot, didn't we? And it was really interesting.
Yeah. Tough one to evaluate. It can't attack, so it also can't get goaded or like taunted. It's very sticky and hard to remove. Then again, something like Royce Don't Call Me Simon, taking this out, huge shutdown on an engine. The other thing is, how often are you actually going to get that effect? It's good in 2 scenarios. One is you just play a pretty normal deck that plays like 25 units and 15 syllables, more or less. You say unit most of the time, and 60% of the time you'll draw a card. The other one would be you can look at the top cards of your deck or kind of like control what's on top. The third scenario is Braindance heavy deck or gear heavy deck. Because they're sellable, if like 25, 30 of your cards are programs or gears, this will draw very consistently as well. It will draw into cards that you can sell. It's an insane value.
And just sits ready, right? Doesn't do anything. Just sits ready. The problem is, if you're against an aggressive deck, I kind of used it against you, right? You played it early on, and I just ignored it. And I said, all right, let me just leave it there. Yes, it's going to draw, but I was able to just aggro you out of it in that case. So that's the risk of it. And because it's not sellable, it's just going to be stuck in your hand, or you have to play it.
Yeah. And it lost, I lost with 8 or 10 cards in hand. That was a bit of a brutal learning experience. I think the card is going to see play. It's incredibly hard to evaluate. She's either broken or mid.
Yep.
but above average. One thing I will say, just found that out the last game, you can give her blocker with whatever it's what's called, mandibular upgrade or
Yep.
something like that. And then she is useful for defense on one of the final turns.
I don't like it.
I like
Too
it.
slow.
I'm not sure if it's good. I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I give it a 5. I give it
Average still.
5.5.
Yeah.
I think it's above average.
Okay.
It's a very cool card. Look at this art. My goodness. 3 Eddie cost, 2 power, Mox Inciters. It's Ganga and Mox. When you play it, a rival unit must attack next turn if it can, and it's a blocker. I think that card's pretty good.
It's soft removal. We did say blocker keyword is good. It's only 1 cost higher than Corpo Security or the second-hand Bombus.
And it can attack.
And it can attack.
I think it's really good.
Right?
Yeah, blocker that can attack, I think. Honestly, just a blocker that can attack. Really good. 3 cost, 2. So like the play effect is almost a bonus, and I do think the play effect is strong.
Yep.
I think this card's really good. I think it's staple good.
Yeah, I mean, without the play effect, it would be overpriced. With the play effect, it's such a flexible
I
bot.
think it would be fine without the play effect, right? If you compare it to the 2 costs that can't attack.
Fair.
You're paying like 1 extra and it suddenly can attack. That's kind of fair, right?
Yeah.
So then you consider that, the on-play effect. I really like blockers. I think it's a staple card.
Yeah. My only worry is I'm not sure if blue is going to play that many mid-range or like tempo-oriented decks. In like a Spellslinger deck, I don't think the card does so much. Unless there are a lot of programs that hit spent units.
Yep.
Then again, Florid and so on.
Yeah, I don't have like a big picture of like exactly what blue's looking like. But if there's some sort of like aggressive blue deck, or maybe it's only 2 blue ram, right?
But mate, you remember Florid from the Alpha kit?
Yeah.
So that's an enabler for Florid.
Yes.
Just bounce something back to hand, all the gears with it, huge tempo swing. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think this is a very solid, could be an 8 or 9, it could be a 10 out of 10.
I'm giving it 9.5. I love that card. Blocker that can attack is so flexible.
Damn. Yeah, you convinced me. My first shot at this when I first saw it was like 4 out of 10, but yeah, no, after all of the chats, has to be good.
Psycho Squad is a vanilla, it's a 4/6.
NCPD tag, haven't seen any synergy there yet.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of good. 4/7s in the alpha kit were busted.
Yep.
4/6, kind of
The
reasonable.
overall stat level
was it?
went down.
It was a 3/4, and then was it a 3? I think it was a
3/4.
3/4.
Was
so
the
it's
atlas.
3/4 or 4/6. So for that 1 extra Eddie, you get 2 stats, which is quite a bit more reasonable, I think.
Yeah. So again, if there's going to be blue mid-range board-based decks, this is going to be played in them. Yeah, not much more to say. It's above average. This is not going to be played a lot in future sets.
No.
Vanilla cards get phased out, get power crept. For now, 6.6 out of 10.
7 out of 10. I think it's good. Vanilla can sometimes be good. Vanilla's my favorite flavor of ice cream, I'll have you know.
Okay.
Lizzie Wizzy, the delicate weapon. She is 5 Eddie cost. She is 2 power. When you play her, you may play a program with cost 3 or less from your hand or trash for free. Bottom deck it after you play it, and it's a blocker. So it's a 5 cost blocker with 2 power, but you also get to play a program ideally from your discard that costs 3 for free. So you're kind of paying like almost like 2 overall, right? Kind of sick. It's kind of good.
Yeah, you're a big blocker stan. I like this card. If there's going to be a viable program Spellslinger type archetype, this is going to be a staple 3 of probably. And it's going to be one of the better cards in this deck. If I recall correctly, there will be cards that trash a lot in blue too, to put some programs into your discard pile. I know some of the big ones have like play effects that if you discard programs, some positive thing happens. And then you just target the right ones, you play them with Lizzie Wizzy. Fairly often it will only give you like a 1 or 2 cost program, then it's not quite as stat efficient, but still, best case scenario, it's completely cracked. Great value card. I like this a lot.
I also like it. It's probably my least favorite blocker though because it's expensive.
True, but
It's
it
really
does
good.
things. It does things.
It does things. I give it a 7.5.
I like value cards. I'll give this an 8.5 out of 10.
I like it. That seems reasonable. I have to scroll all the way to the bottom. Bear with us here. Sorry.
Yeah. Side 2.
And then we have Maman Bridget. We have to be quick. 5 Eddie cost, 3 power. When you play it, you may discard 2 programs. If you do, bottom deck a rival unequipped unit.
Unequipped, yeah. But spot removal. But
And it can be on anything.
you're -2 on cards. And 4 yellow ram. And 5 cost, 3 power.
The thing is, like, because this card's not sellable, right? You really need it to hit, or it's just stuck in your hand. And you can't play it. And okay, it is a May discard, so you can skip this.
You can play it as a 5/3.
Yeah,
What?
That's not great, is it?
Tough to say. So
yeah,
this,
I don't think I like it.
This does something that the program-heavy archetype really needs, and that is spot removal.
Right.
I think that archetype is going to be able to draw a lot.
Okay.
I'm very curious about what exactly Judy or cards like Alt can do in synergy with Maman Brigitte. It's so hard to evaluate. Standalone, it's not a good card. It's way too much card disadvantage. But with cards like Lizzie Wizzy, with I think Alt was something like play a program from your trash or put it back into hand, something like that. There's a lot of these revive effects.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah, standalone, it's just like a 2 or 3 out of 10. In this synergy, it can be a key, like 2 of, maybe a 3 of. It could be a 7 or 8 out of 10. I'm not willing to call it a 10 out of 10 because of the situationality and the high cost of discarding 2 programs.
It might just be what the deck needs, right? Like, you might just need that spot removal. So I think it's like a 4. But it could be better.
Yeah.
Could be better. We've got the Flathead. I hated this card in the beta and alpha, but they probably changed it.
They buffed it.
They buffed it.
Stat line, 5/7.
5/7. That's good stats. It's above a vanilla, no? No, it was a 4. It was a 4/6.
So it's in line with vanilla.
Yeah, in line with vanilla. If you have less street cred than a rival unit that's can't be blocked, it's not much better. What was it before? It was like a 5/5. And a lot of the other cards were better, so it's significantly better. I don't like it, mate. I really don't. It's basically a vanilla.
Yeah.
It's like a vanilla. I would rather just play a 4-drop that's 6 that could be blocked, I think. Or let's say, I don't know if we have any 5 vanillas, but if there's like a vanilla that's like an 8, I would rather the 8, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's not terrible, but I don't love it. I think it's too slow.
I feel like the text is not going to matter a ton.
No.
But I will say, again, a blue mid-range type deck does want to play this. And then on the last couple of turns, you can probably get this to 10 fairly easily. And it's going to matter that this can't be blocked. You can steal for 2 fairly often. Again, 3 blue ram, very specific niche in the deck build. Like overall, but the stats are still okay. Like even base case, this is average, 5.5 out of 10. In that mid-range deck, the ceiling is kind of capped too, though. In the mid-range deck, it can be a 7 out of 10. It can even be an 8 out of 10 as a finisher. Most of the time, 5, 6, 7 out of 10, somewhere there.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 5. I think it's very average. Do you have time, Peter? Are you going to miss your train?
Yeah, I think we have like almost 10 more minutes, so we can probably get the last couple ones.
We've got the modded Kusanagi, which is a 6 cost, 8 power, adrenaline. Oh! Yeah, okay. I was like, this seems really overpowered. Adrenaline is this unit can attack the turn it's played, but the downside is at the end of your turn, return this unit to its owner's hand. Frankly, I don't mind that. I don't mind my modded Kusanagi coming back to hand because I do it again the next turn. Like if I'm playing hyper aggro with just 2 blue ram, I can just splash in a little bit of blue. I get that little 3 cost blocker that can also attack. I get this as a top end card. It's like a 1 of or so. It comes back to my hand. I've got nothing else to spend my eddies on because I top deck, I don't know, something rubbish. And I just bam again my modded Kusanagi. Yeah. I think it's okay.
So it's a blessing and a curse. The good thing is the card protects itself. It's not going to be spent and threatened to be taken out. The bad thing is playing 6 every turn for the effect is rough.
Yeah, it is.
It would be nicer if it was at like 9 power and you could cheaply get this to 10.
Yes. Because if, let's say, if you were playing it with Mantis Blades, right? If you play 7 overall, you play the modded Kusanagi, you play Mantis Blades, it goes to 10. The Mantis Blades will actually follow it back to your hand. So that's a nice little combo.
So you could always replay it for hitting for 2 gigs. In that case, it's cracked. It's kind of niche. It might just be what the blue mid-range deck needs, though. Again, like in the previous case, in itself, average card 4 or 5 out of 10. In that specific deck, if it's good, it could be a 6, 7, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'll go 6.5 on this one. I think like if you're playing a blue deck with not much card draw, that could be a good option.
Like 4 more cards, should be able to get this through.
Placide.
Voodoo Sentinel, a cool character in the game, by the way.
Yeah, very.
A pricey one, 8 cost, 10 power, hits for 2 gigs right away. 2 ram, play and attack. Multiple times you can trigger this effect. You may discard 1 program. if you do bottom deck a rival unit.
Oh, that card's correct. What do you mean?
Yeah, so
Holy moly, Batman.
this is just Maman Brigitte in better.
10 power as well. Not 9, 10.
Only 2 blue ram. One thing I want to mention, you can play this in the Overwatch deck with green, with the rifle that wants to discard high cost cards.
Yep.
So maybe there's some synergy there with Placide, with
And you can
Saul.
play yellow with the ramp card, right? The ramp card
Yeah.
puts you get this down 1 turn sooner. That's a big deal. And it's play and attack.
Yeah.
Oh my days. I think this card's actually the best top end we've seen so far.
It's up there. I think this might actually be exactly what the program archetype needs. It's going to be light on units, but if it's something like Maman Brigitte and this, and it has synergy with the other cards that want to play programs from trash, like the discard is not, it's only half of a cost, right? It's not the classic like lose a card to take a card out, because
Sure.
it's so accessible from the graveyard, from the trash.
From the bin.
This has to be somewhere between 8 and 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. 9.5.
Yeah. There's a risk that the archetype is just not going to be good.
And it
and
might
then
be a bit too slow. You might
Yeah.
just be blown out of the game before you can play it, right?
But importantly, it does something the turn it gets played.
Yeah. And it continues to do something every... Honestly, it might be a 10 out of 10. The only thing holding it back is the cost,
Yeah.
because you might just lose before you play it. The other thing with the cost is, like, do you really want to put 3 of these in your deck? Well, that sounds risky, right?
Nah, yeah,
So,
probably like a 12.
Yeah.
But big threat, and that was the dream for like my braincraft, theorycraft of a yellow and blue spell heavy deck.
yeah.
So ramp, play this a bit early, catch up on tempo pretty quickly.
We have what might have been the best card in the Alpha Kit, one of them, but it's been reworked. It's V's Pistol Dying Knight. It is 2 power for 2 eddies, and when you attack, because it's a weapon, you equip it, decrease a gig by up to 2. At the end of your turn, if this unit is named V, ready 2 eddies. I don't like this one.
Okay, there are going to be a couple of these, a couple of different versions.
Sure, that's true.
The ones that we saw are Street Kit and Corporate things.
Which are both go solos, and I don't
Yeah.
think you want to play both of them in the same deck.
Exactly. And yeah, this is probably more of a roleplay deck
Yep.
for people who are big fans of the universe of the character V. Still 2 for 2, and in a color that cares about min gigs, it's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
It's just subpar.
Mantis blades cost 1,
Yeah.
and it's giving you 2.
So 3 or 4 out of 10. In the roleplay deck, it's maybe a 6 out of 10. I just think the roleplay deck is bad.
Yeah, I give it...
Or if there are a lot of playable units that are called V coming in the future,
Yes.
could get better.
I give it a 3. Floor it.
Fair.
1 cost. Quick. Give a rival unit -1 power this turn, draw 1. Stupefy
Stupefy very much.
from Riftbound. Yeah, you told me about this card earlier, and I was like, wait, really? That's the effect? Isn't that broken? Is this the best card in Cyberpunk Trading Card Game, Peter? I think there's a chance it is.
Yeah, unspectacular, but incredibly good on offense and on defense. And you can sell it if you don't need it, but like you will almost never want to sell it because it replaces itself anyway. This is just so versatile and good that this might just get a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I say 10 out of 10.
I think in pretty much any blue deck, this is going to be a 3 of.
I think this might get banned.
I wouldn't go that far. I think the effect is not blowout enough. I just think it's so consistent and solid. It does filter through
Imagine
your deck.
this, right? You've got a 7 cost guy, right? Or let's even say a 10 cost guy. And you swing at my... Sorry, 10 power. I've got a 9 power guy. And 2 eddies open.
Yeah.
I go floor it. Second floor it. Suddenly, you have an 8 cost... An 8 power guy. I have a 9 power guy. GG.
Nasty.
Mate, this card's broken. I think this card is the first Cyberpunk card that will ever get banned.
But mate, is Stupefy bad?
No. But Stupefy is kind of, yeah, it's a different game. This is such a
Yeah.
unique effect in this game so far.
The thing is, you did mention it. You do need 2 florets for this to be giga busted. It fairly often is only going to make the difference between even trade
Yeah.
to value trade, or like make it an even trade instead of losing a unit.
And it's only 1 blue, bro.
Yeah.
What? This
Yeah.
card is so broken.
Yeah, I will say the effect is not that impactful. Just by the effect, it's like 7 or 8 out of 10. But I think this will see so much play that just for the volume, we can give it a 10 out of 10.
This is... That card's very scary. Every blue deck plays 3 of those. Final card, Chrome
Reverie,
I
think.
Whatever that means. 3 cost. Braindance. A rival unit can't attack until your next turn. If you control a min gig, you may call a legend for free.
So again, it's a card that's a Braindance that kind of functions as a blocker. If you can call a legend, you only pay 2. The thing is, I think especially these Braindance heavy decks want to call legends fairly early. This card has a higher value later in the game though. So it's kind of like capped and it's never going to be insane. What do we think? Standalone with no Braindance synergy, I think it's mid. I'd rather play a blocker.
It kind of costs you 2, right? Like if you already wanted to call in a legend, it kind of costs you 2 because you're calling in a legend for free.
Yeah, it does slow down your opponent's tempo though. So with ramp and so on, it's somewhat synergistic. I'd say like standalone, it's still okay, like a 5-6-ish out of 10.
I think it's like a 4. I actually don't
Maybe
like
4.
it particularly. But yeah, maybe the Braindance keyword is enough.
Yeah, I could see this. If Braindance decks are good, this is going to be a key like 2 or 3 off. And then I could see this actually be an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't particularly like the card, but yeah. I mean, it can win you the game, right?
Yeah, the question is, yeah, the card in itself is just okay. The question is if you pair this with like when you play a Braindance, something happens.
Sure.
That's my only point. In that case, it can be a staple and it's going to it can give the deck what it needs.
Yeah. I think also like I like this as a finisher and it's calling in a legend. So there's a bit of anti-synergy there. But final review, because you've got to go catch a train. I don't want you to miss it.
Yeah.
I give this one a 3 out of 10.
That's fair. Okay, yeah, we're going to do a quick outro now. Again, thanks for watching. This is a fairly new channel. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. If you liked it, leave a like for the video. We usually also end our videos with a hot take of the week. For time constraint, we didn't do it for this one and the last one.
The first banned card will be Floor It.
Yeah, and I very much disagree.
What's your first banned card? What was the best card we've looked at so far?
What else did I give a 10 out of 10?
Good question.
There was something. The Dum Dum.
The
legend.
Yeah, okay, you might be right.
Yeah,
that one's caught my eye.
Because Florid has a ceiling. It's going to see a ton of play, but it's never going to be broken. It's not that impactful on its own. Dum Dum can be absurdly cracked, and it limits design space in the future. You could, like, once gear gets too good, this card just gets better and better. I say this is the first one that gets banned. Okay, we did hot take of the week.
Let us know in the comments what your hot take is.
Yeah, if you want to see another hot take of the week for next week, let us know. Bye.
Bye.